My name is Mlungisi Makhanya. I am the president of the People's United Democratic Movement, PUDEMO, from the Kingdom of Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland. We are grateful as PUDEMO for being part of this seminal conference on the 7th Africa-Cuba Solidarity Conference. This is a very important conference in the life of liberation movements and progressive organization. For Cuba remains a guiding light on how to prosecute a struggle tenaciously. We can never forget that it was indeed the Cubans, Che Guevara himself, who taught us the valuable lessons, as the Cuban always said, that solidarity is about offering what at times you do not have. What South Africa, through the African National Congress, is demonstrating in hosting this conference is that South Africa does not have to wait to attend to all her problems before it can extend practical solidarity to other suffering people of the world. And for this, we want to applaud the African National Congress. As Minister Pando was articulating in her address, we should never, as progressive organization, allow our own limitations and problems in our respective countries to blindside us from the need to feel deeply the pain and suffering of other oppressed people in the world. South Africa has demonstrated this through the action it has taken against the apartheid state of Israel when it took Israel to ICJ on behalf of the people of Palestine. For us as PUDEMO, coming from Eswatini, the lesson that we are learning both in this conference and from the Cuban Revolution itself is that you don't have to wait for freedom and liberation to arrive in Swaziland before you can offer practical solidarity to other suffering people in the world. From here, we have a duty to go and educate and conscientize the people of Swaziland around the suffering of the people of Cuba, the suffering of the people of Palestine, the suffering of the people of Western Sahara, and other oppressed people in the world. And all that we can say as we end is this: solidarity requires all of us to refuse to keep quiet, irrespective of the strength of those who are responsible for inflicting the suffering. In the case of Cuba, we all know that the United States of America has imposed economic terrorism on Cuba. Cuba is this month celebrating 65 years of the success of the Cuban Revolution. 62 years of those 65 years, it has been under economic embargo from the empire of the United States. But notwithstanding that embargo, Cuba has extended herself to offer practical solidarity and support to many people across the world. Notwithstanding the weaponization of international monetary institutions, Cuba has tenaciously forged ahead with supporting humanity. And we are learning very important lesson. As we move towards declaration in this conference, one of the things that as PUDEMO will be pushing for is that we all have a duty in our respective countries, individually and collectively, to heighten the awareness on the suffering that the Cuban people have endured for over 6 decades. And this we can do by being vociferous in our push for the transformation of multilateral institutions, including the United Nations, because notwithstanding many resolutions of the United Nations against the illegal economic embargo on Cuba, we have not seen any practical step, and long live the Cuban Revolution.